What is the 14-day challenge? I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you asked. The 14-day challenge consists of 3 specific areas over 14 days that we will shift in to see transformation in your life, for you to finally become the woman that you know God has been calling you to inside. All of this is in alignment with God's divine will. What are those 3 specific areas that are life-changing for a woman's life? Number one is the Esther preparation. Number 2 is the Esther meals. Okay? Number 3 is the Esther positioning. So let's talk about Esther preparation. Esther preparation is about cleaning, it's about consecration, but we've got to get more literal and granular. It is going to be about throwing the trash out. When I tell you the level of freedom women have when they finally get permission to throw the trash out, the literal trash in their house, the emotional trash, the spiritual trash, the trash that is holding them back from their next. That is the Esther preparation. Yes, the Esther preparation includes baths and Esther showers, but specifically it is the cleansing. And so we will be throwing the trash away. This is also included in the prep work that you get immediately when you sign up for the 14-day to drastically transform your life. Number 2, the Esther meals. Yes, ladies, for those of you who are saying, oh, I'll date after I lose the weight. Or, oh, my anxiety, I always have anxiety. A lot of times we are not nourishing our mind and body in the way that we need to experience the emotional freedom and the physical freedom that we know that we're called to. So yes, we're going to be doing Esther meals, and let me tell you, they are delicious. Okay? I have Southern roots, so I like good tasting food. These Esther meals are not only delicious, they are going to help improve your skin. They are going to help improve your nails. They are going to help improve your hair. And yes, for those of you who need to drop 7 to 10 pounds, this is going to completely jumpstart that process. I have been able to keep my weight low because I do not spend a year. I do not spend a year trying to lose weight. I need to be able to drop weight fast, right? If I'm going to be able to maintain the feminine figure that God has called me to, that is healthy for my body. Again, what God has called me to, that is healthy for my body. And one of the greatest catalysts of being able to drop weight is having nourishing meals and releasing things spiritually, emotionally, energetically, and physically. So throwing the trash away literally helps you lose weight. A lot of you aren't going to believe me until you experience this. But when you are stressed out, when you are worn out, when you are exhausted, you are 70% more likely to overeat, overdrink, and require fast food in your diet. Test me in this. And then number 3 is the Esther positioning. This is us going deeper than we've ever gone before. The Esther positioning. After all of the Esther preparation, after Esther had the 12 months of beauty treatment, 6 months of oil and myrrh, she had to step out and go before the king. So what is the Esther positioning? It is you getting in full and total agreement with what God said about you. It's going to be easier to do that when you've thrown the trash out, the Esther preparation, and when you are actually nourishing your mind, body, and spirit, the Esther meals. It's going to be easier to get in alignment when now your environment and what you're putting in the temple line up. So the Esther positioning is you getting in complete and total alignment. So why is this for you? I believe that God wants to expedite this movement in your life. He wants to expedite it. But the sameness, the doing the same thing is not going to get you there, beloved. You have got to move the fear aside and take a leap of courage and do a new thing. Do you not perceive it? He is doing a new thing. And so if God wants to expedite some things, you've got to let this trash go. You've got to throw the trash out. You've got to be willing to nourish yourself, and you have got to be willing to get in agreement. That's the Esther positioning, to actually receive. And so let God's will be done in your life. In the preparation work, you are going to begin with a specific statement where you identify the things that God has been sharing with you ever since you were a little girl. I want you to do this right away when you sign up. The specific things that God has been speaking to you since you were a little girl. You know these things. This is the woman you're becoming. Not the woman on TikTok, not the woman on the television. You're becoming the woman that God has always been speaking to you. And so you're going to do that identity statement and that declaration. No more delay. No more distraction. God, now is my time. I'm going to leave you with this to encourage you forward. I'm going to leave you with this. Ruth had an incredible journey. Ruth had an incredible journey. Her husband was on the way because Ruth was on the way. Let me repeat that. Her husband was on the way because Ruth was on the way. I know that you have heard a lot of prophetic utterance about marriage. And for some of you, you're already married, and this is just going to help you step further in. But there's a lot of prophetic utterance over marriage. I am here to solidify and crystallize that process. Hear me, because this is my calling to help you strategically and divinely step in. Ruth's husband was on the way because she was on the way. She had decided, I am leaving my family behind. I am leaving my old rituals behind. I am leaving my old habits behind. I am leaving my old neighborhood behind. I am leaving my old way of thinking behind. And she was so determined. She was so declared in her new that she said, may God deal with me. May God deal with me if I do not honor what I say to you, Naomi. She was so steadfast. And so why do I share that with you? If you have been feeling an utterance that your husband is on the way, you also have to be on the way. This is why we have to take the trash out, because Ruth could not experience her husband being on the way if she stayed in Moab with her family, with her friends, with her old habits, with her old ways. But when she took that journey with Naomi, everything was expedited. It was stated in the biblical text that she had been there for 10 years in Moab with her husband. But yet the biblical text reveals, as it is seen, that she was married and with child within her first year in Bethlehem, Judah. 10 years. 10 years over here in Moab with her husband. And now with Boaz in the first year, all of a sudden she's married and she has a child. God wants to expedite you, beloved. The question is, will you let fear overtake you and keep you in Moab? Or do you have the courage? Do you have the courage to say, God, where you're leading me, I will go. And the people you have for me will be my people. God, you are my God. And anything I have to let go, now and today, I'm willing.